Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future. Welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Okay, what a 24 hours have we had. I just didn't jump on yesterday. I just wanted to let things digest a little bit. Oh, goodness me, where on earth do I start with this? Well, I start with entertainment only, out in the dining room because the light's better for the cards on the table. And goodness me, what cards do I use? I think I might use the Gilded Tarot Royale. Now, just looking at before I come on, I always have a little snippet look at world news today, often going to sites like AP News and BBC, etc. And apparently the RAF, along with the French, had a strike overnight on ISIS-Syria bunkers, arms bunkers. Didn't hear a word of it, did we? It's about page 3, because the UK and France know how not to blab and make big posturing gestures about the actions that they actually do. Now, reading the other day in regards to the year of the fire horse, a few of you mentioned that, well, I had a look. I'm an earth monkey, which actually being a double Taurus and Gemini really very much talks about being grounded, but very flexible at the same time, but quite intensely grounded. So that was quite good to find out. And yes, we are in full skin shedding mode at the moment, which is painful, difficult, vulnerable, and just deep breath and we'll get through it. Okay, now what I want to have a look at is, well, there's a few things I want to mention. First of all, the so-called war room at Mar-a-Lago, or Largo, pretty much just a corner of a room curtained off with a black curtain. Now that's about as secure as putting highly classified documents in a bathroom, isn't it? It was just purely a black curtain to give the dramatic effect of a war room, which was just absolutely BS photo ops. The Orange Twerp himself at the podium afterwards. Oh my goodness, his health is so not well. Leaning on the podium heavily, looked awful. He was reading, but it was very blur, blur, blur. You know, oh my goodness, it was just absolutely horrific to watch. But apparently various elements of his cabinet have come out and threatened Mexico, Cuba, Iran, Greenland, very much vindictiveness in some ways. Cuba for Rubio is vindictiveness. His parents fled from Cuba, I believe, back in the 1950s. But I just want to reinforce a lot of this makes sense if you, oh goodness, Tower card. And the voters, I believe there's mass protests starting to eventuate out of this. The voters, the unity, and then we have the Tower card. But I just want to have a quick look, quick mention that I have been saying for a long time that what is happening in the world at the moment in regards to these dictators is nothing to do with countries overtaking other countries. It's about colonization, old school colonization, but by oligarchs and corporations. And those pesky boundaries or borders, they just get in the way. So this is what I've been getting for a long time now, is that this is what the oligarchs that are, you know, pulling the puppet strings behind the scenes are after. They want to split the world up into fuel, energy, transport, communication, space, AI, you name it. This is what is actually behind the scenes. And if you think about that, the terms of what's happening in the world makes a lot of sense. It's very much like if you go back a couple of 100 years ago and you've got the English, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese, etc., all colonizing and splitting up the world and drawing new borders and new boundaries as to basically carve up the known world. This is what's happening now, but in a different form. Very much about carving up the world in corporations and resources rather than actual countries and boundaries and people. Okay, so now what do I want to have a look at? Oh my goodness, who else thought that Higgs was as high as a kite? Oh my goodness, what was he on? It looked like he'd been dipping into the felon's private tackle box, let me just put it that way. Private tackle box full of yippee beans with his FAFO comment. But what's now happening is that Rubio's now come out and contradicting what the Orange Twerp said yesterday. Oh, no, we're not going to do this. Despite the fact that the Orange Twerp said it yesterday, I keep getting he blabs and goes off script, and they're desperately trying to keep him from doing so because he tells. He tells, and they don't want him to tell about the fact that the US will be stealing Venezuela's oil, and they will be claiming the US that will run Venezuela. Yeah, smoke and mirrors, and we've got the higher authorities here. This is the government card. It's all about illusion, delusion. Look over here while that's happening over there. And speaking of looking over here while that's happening over there, the DOJ had a deadline until yesterday to actually do a please explain about the redacted files and to release the rest of the 1 million files. Gee, I wonder where that went. Okay, so let's have a look. What do I actually want to have a look at in regards to this? Because it's so obvious, you don't need a tarot reader to actually tell you what's going on. So Maduro was made to do the perp walk, which is purely about humiliation and chest beating. There was no need for it whatsoever. His wife, Celia Flores, was also arrested. Now, remember that there is this claims that there's celebrations in the streets of Venezuela. Now, I'm not putting it, not defending Maduro. He was an absolute a-hole. He was a iron-fisted, nasty piece of work dictator. But that doesn't mean you go and pinch him. I mean, there's now and attack the country. Now, there was a meme that passed my desk this morning about the UK saying, right, we're going in, taking over the US. We're going to nip off with Fallon and Melania. Yep, let's make it happen type thing. And the Swedes are doing the same and saying that, IKEA is going to rebuild the country. I believe Denmark has now actually seriously listed the US as a potential security threat. Totally understand that, considering its comments towards Greenland. But what do I actually want to look at? Ooh, now I said before. Now I'll put the card. The cards show better on the table, but I think legally they're in big hot water. The UN has come out and attacked what they've done, but countries around the world have. They've set a precedence now. What's to say that China just can't take over Taiwan? What's to say that China can't just take over the US? They don't like the felon, the dude in charge there, because he's not in the best interests of China. What's to say? So, okay, we've got the Ten of Swords. This is that popped out. But what I want to have a look at, okay, I'm just going to do a general, how's this going to go down? How's it going to evolve? Do you want me to keep shuffling? I'm just asking my guides. No, they've said no. That's why they got me to stop then. I also want to have a look at the Vice President Rodriguez. Delcy Rodriguez has been sworn in as the president. In Venezuela, apparently Maria Corina Machado, the Peace Prize winner, has been pretty much left out of this, what's happening over there at the moment. I do want to ask in a minute as to whether there was some agreements that went on. I think it was Denise Knight kept coming up. Was it Denise? I can't remember. Who I was watching yesterday kept coming up with a woman being involved in all this decision making. But anyhow, Ten of Swords. They're going to throw. First of all, they're going to throw the regime are going to throw the book at Maduro. They're charging him with owning semi-automatic weapons or something in Venezuela under US law. Well, I hate to tell you, but US law does not apply to another country. But this could be that they're going to throw the legal book at him. But you'll notice none of the swords are piercing. I think this is what this card is telling me, because they're pointing, my guides are pointing me in that direction. So Ten of Swords, they're going to throw the legal book at him, but none of it's going to land. Now, even the claims of drug smuggling, the only evidence they've got is one boat that washed up with 2 bodies on board, and a few packets that had some remains of marijuana in it. Well, marijuana is legal in 40 of the United States states, so that's not really a cause for this action. I mean, you and I know, we know it's got nothing to do with drugs, never was, never had. It's possibly not got a lot to do with oil, although oil is the side benefit. Oil is very much a side benefit. Okay, let's see where this goes. Okay, the challenge is a false victory. Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to throw the legal book at Maduro, but the challenge to what's happened is a false victory. Nobody is celebrating. It's a very uncomfortable position for the one on the horse. The horse looks like it's about to bolt at any moment. This could mean the protests that are happening. Now remember, there were celebrations when Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria and all these other countries, the US went in and overthrew the governments, also in a lot of the South American countries. It's never ended well for the citizens. What happens is a power vacuum is caused, somebody steps into that power vacuum. The US seems to end up grinding into an endless conflict to try and retain power in a country that is not their own. And now I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about the US government. Vietnam's another example. There just seems to be, it never ends well for the citizens of that country, and it never ends well for the United States government. Okay, so we've got here the challenge. It's a claiming of victory, but it's a false victory. Okay, the base of the reading, the energy it's stewing in is the voters, but also emotional unity coming together, working together. Now, in these rambling, leaning on the podium, trying not to fall asleep. I can't even call it a speech because it wasn't even a speech that the Orange Twerp did. He mentioned oil, I believe, something like 20 times, mentioned democracy once. So we know this wasn't about a democracy, but the energy it's stewing in at the moment is playing on the emotions of I'm just going to say it's playing on the emotions of supposed fair elections, the energy that they're stewing in at the moment. Oh, working together to bring about elections, but, oh gosh, not surprised at all. It's all about greed, corruption. Now, also the announcement came out within hours of a team of investors from Wall Street. So we're talking about, those that would have donated in, because remember the Orange Twerp said when he was on the election trail that if the oil industry, gave them $1 billion each or whatever it was, that he would make sure that they were handsomely rewarded. But within hours of this invasion, attack, whatever you like to call it, there was the announcement of the venture capitalists going, we're sending a group down to see what investments they can make. Yeah, it's all about greed, power, addiction. Oh boy. Crowning the reading. Yeah, all about money. So the energy over all this, it, it's about money for it's yeah, but no trickle down. It's not about the Venezuelan people at all. It's all about greed and money. But we know that. You don't need to be a psychic to know this. But how's it going to go going forward? Okay, we've got this female energy. She's got something still in her cup that's not yet revealed, but it's also a stability, emotional maturity. And I'm thinking this might be Delisi Rodriguez. I don't think it's Maria Corina Machado or Machado. I think this is Delisi Rodriguez. She has stepped in. The Supreme Court of Venezuela have sworn her in as president. I think she's going to be bringing stability, but she's got something in her cup that she's not revealing as of yet. I don't think this is going to play out how the regime thinks it's going to. 5 of Wands externally. The plan is just going to end up in a shambles. It's just going to end up in this 5 of Wands shambles. Internally, the two of Swords. I think she is going to go to potentially the International Criminal Court and or the UN and argue the Venezuelan point. Sorry if I said Argentina. Argentina's the one where it's a buddy of the Orange Twerp who we gave, 40 billion to or something? Hard-earned taxpayer dollars, or probably tariff money more likely. Yeah, it is a legal's crossroads moment about who actually will take control of Venezuela. Hopes and fears, King of Swords, a legal action being taken, a ruling being made, strategy going forward. Okay. Right. I think the regime is going to end up on the back foot in regards to this. There's been a lot of international condemnation of what they have done. They're going to be on this defensive position. It's not going to work out how they think it's going to. Now you've got the Chariot card here. Chaotic movement forward, or it is my military card. And then you've got the Hermit, shining a light on the snake in the path, or simply unable to move forward. The Empress. Now, I'm not feeling this is Russia, although Russia is an ally of Venezuela. I'm feeling this is the feminine energy birthing something significantly new in the face of this abuse of power, with the 5 of Swords, and we've got fresh new messaging coming out with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Some sort of legal strategic declaration by a female about protection and money. So the Queen of Pentacles here, and then we've got the Ace of Swords coming forward. We've got the independent female standing firm with the 9 of Pentacles, and the inability to harvest by the oligarchs. And then we've got the feminine strength. Oh, and the Sun card. Yes, yes to this. I really don't think it's going to work out how how the regime thinks it's going. They've made promises to these oligarchs, but I think they've underestimated Delcy Rodriguez. So let's have a look. I mean, the star, Delcy Rodriguez, I think they've and then we've got the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups as I split the deck. Female energy bringing stability. Something not yet revealed. Okay, tell me what we need to know about Delcy Rodriguez taking control. Okay, how is Delcy Rodriguez going to deal with the US in regards to this? Yeah, they're going to be stopped. Now, this is shining a light on the snake in the past. I'm getting a feeling that she's going to, I can't get over the feeling that she's not going to let these US vulture capitalists in. I know they're called venture capitalists, but let's call them vulture capitalists. They're parasites pretty much. I don't know that she's going to let them in. She might call for investment elsewhere. How's she going to deal with the US? Then we have the Empress, the powerful feminine energy. Now, I'm not saying Russia investment, but this is very much about, as odd as it sounds, I think Delcy Rodriguez is actually going to be for the Venezuelan people, because this is about abundance for the people, feminine energy, the birth of something new. Right, the energy is the attempted steal and only leaving 2 swords behind. So it's the energy she's dealing with at the moment. Is this attempted, going in, bombing, trying to steal, make off with the goods? This is the energy she's in at the moment, trying to deal with. I'm not saying this is her energy. Okay, in the past, that was Maduro, the dictator, the emperor, crowning the reading, the Queen of Wands, the feminine, bringing forward a new plan, new messaging, the inspirational female. Yet we've got this strategy and legal crossroads in the immediate future. Externally is the devil energy. This is what she's dealing with externally, right next to this attempted steal. But internally, oh boy, I think they might have underestimated who was going to take charge. And it ain't going to be the US. Queen of Swords. Powerful, again, powerful feminine energy here, bringing forward a new strategy, bringing forward new legal options, standing up. Oh, yeah. Hopes and fears, Knight of Swords. The outcome. Right, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 powerful feminine energy cards. Queen of Pentacles. And I'm talking about Delcy Rodriguez, the female was vice president, being put up into the sworn in as the president, the Ace of Swords, and then the 9 of Pentacles. Strong feminine energy. Independent female. Bringing forward a new plan. Bringing the ship into harbour. A lot of messaging coming out very quickly about the inability to harvest by the oligarchs, the overseas oligarchs. And then we got that feminine strength again and the Sun card. Now, I know this is the order they came before, but they chose to pop to the top. Female riding in as a winner on the Chariot. I think she's got the support of the Venezuelan troops and potentially the people. You've got this defending, so this may be her defending, having brought forward this against external forces. She's got the light of the window at her back. It's going to result in the infighting, things being looked at from a different point of view. I'm getting Venezuela is not for sale from this card. Stopped, halted in its tracks, and then a new plan, rejecting the offer with the Four of Cups and the Judgment card. I think she is going to foil their plans. Now, I do want to ask, was she somehow, significant endings, new beginnings? I do wonder if she was, now this sounds a bit awful, but was Delcy Rodriguez somehow, God, the US looked so foolish. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about the regime. Looked so foolish on the world stage in regards to this. Their war room in the corner of goodness knows where it was, someone's bedroom or the ballroom stage or something, with the black curtain strung across to make it look very serious. With a black curtain strung across, yeah, that's really secure and secret, isn't it? Then trotting out the orange twerp to slur and fall asleep, and Heggs with his drugged up FAFO. Oh, it just made the regime look absolutely, on the international stage, aghast foolish. But I do want to know, was Delcy Rodriguez, I'm getting, now I keep hearing De Silva, the Prime Minister President of Brazil. She's got his vibes about her, is what I'm getting. I just keep De Silva, working with De Silva. So is Delcy Rodriguez, I want to ask whether she was actually, oh, did you see that? That orb straight through. Wow. Sorry. Was she in cahoots with the, sorry, was she in cahoots with the regime to remove Maduro? Is what I want to ask. Come on down, let's have a look, because there's more to this than what I think. Queen of Cups. Yep. Page of Swords. Nightmare situation. And the Sun card. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Queen of Cups, bringing forward a new strategy in what was a nightmare situation to illuminate everything and bring a change, to bring the Sun forward. That's a big, huge yes card, by the way. It's the biggest yes card in the deck. So yeah, she had something in her cup that wasn't yet revealed. It was a new strategy in what was turning out to be a nightmare situation. Now, over this figure in the bed is this female energy as well, and the coming in of the snow owl. Queen of Swords, the Emperor, and so again, female energy, new strategy, as opposed to the Emperor, and then isolating and stopping. The abuse of power. In the face of the abuse of power, bringing forward a new plan, a new message. And there it is, yes. I'm going to say yes, she was, but I suspect she's then going to reject what was on offer by the oligarchs, walking away. Knight of Wands, in a volatile situation, moving steadfastly forward as the legal swords are prepared to fall on Maduro. And yeah, there she is. Queen of Wands riding in as the winner with the female on the chariot. Yeah, I'm going to say yes, she was. Yes, she was. But I am getting that she played both sides. She played both sides with that Two of Wands. Now, tell me, what sort of leader is Delcy Rodriguez going to be? Show me Delcy Rodriguez's relationship with the US regime now that this has been happened, now that this overthrow is, now that this removal has occurred. Show me Delcy Rodriguez's relationship with the US regime. I just keep getting this huge mistake by the regime. Yeah, walking away. 3 cups spilt. Yes, there was damage. Yes, there was loss of life. And full moon. I mean, this happened under a super wolf full moon as well. Some minor loss. Now, this is not only walking away, but this is walking towards a new dawn, a new horizon, the signifier. Moderation, temperance, balance, creating something out of the components of its parts, and the new dawn, the new day. So what's her relationship going to be? I think, yeah, I'm not going to play out how they thought it was. The Empress card, powerful female energy, birthing something new. In the past, this legal crossroads, legal action, strategy crossroads. In the past, right, working together. So 2 of Cups. Oh, I love that. The female in this card is telling the male what this financial partnership is going to consist of. Fish being money. Two of Cups is the immediate future. 3 of Cups. Circles of support. I just heard Shinebaum, Claudia Shinebaum from Mexico, and I'm getting De Silva of Brazil as well. Okay. Holding on to externally, not revealing all, holding on to the money is what I'm getting there. Not revealing, no, not even not that. Venezuelan money is for Venezuela. Internally, deals that were done behind the scenes with the 3 of Pentacles. So you've got these 2 3s here with others. And she's going to steer Venezuela out of troubled waters. Take the truth and steer and move on. Yep, there she is, Queen of Wands, riding in as the victor with the Chariot. We've got the Devil being served up something unexpected. Not what they were expecting with that Page of Cups. And then we've got the Moon card. Secrets being revealed. They're going to lose their minds over this. But she's going to be Venezuela for Venezuela with that Queen of Pentacles. And there's the Sword of Truth again. And there's the independent female. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So how is she going to deal with this regime? I think she's going to serve it up to them, and they are not going to be happy. You've got being forced to retreat and inability to harvest. the Eight of Wands, lot of information coming out. King of Swords, the Six of Wands, about the legal action, about the false victory, rejection with that Four of Cups, and then Tower moment. And then we've got the emotional overwhelming of the Emperor, who is going to find themselves entrapped by the messaging that they put out and out in the cold. You've got the Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Queen of Swords, everything changing with that Wheel of Fortune, the emotional, who's this King of Cups? I know some readers are seeing this as emotionally isolated, the Steel coming to an end, judgment, and breaking the lovers with the fading misogynistic partnerships. Page of Pentacles, information about money coming forward, could be documents about the hidden agenda that's going to bring everything to a screeching halt in regards to this regime. And then you've got the Sun card, harsh truth coming forward with the Knight of Swords about the oligarchs. And you have this, again, female energy, kept what was in her cup secret. And then you've got the Justice card. I think she's going to hand it to them on a platter. The false knight with their promises are going to end up in this big Five of Wands infighting energy, and some might find themselves arrested or legally stopped. Uncharted waters at the moment. And the regime is going to face loss and disappointment with that Five of Cups. I think they're not going to be very happy. I think she is going to hand it to them on hand their backsides to them on a platter. Okay, I might leave that reading there. Sorry, half the deck out. Yeah, that was really interesting. Watch this space to see how it pans out. I think they got played big time. I think the regime got used to do the dirty work to remove Maduro, and we are in this new energy with Delcy Rodriguez. And this is why I let it sit for a day, because I just wanted to see how it fell and how it felt, and see what came to light. Now, the deadline to explain the redactions and withholding of the Epstein files was yesterday. Gee, I wonder what happened yesterday. Might have a look at that. Okay, catch you shortly.